guys, for today's video, we are doing the long-awaited Finishing Childhood Art Kits Part 4. I think this has become one of your favorite series, as far as I can tell. People seem to really like me finishing art kits that don't work half the time. I don't know how to do this. If you don't know what this series is, basically, it's what it sounds like. I found some art kits from when I was a kid that I never finished. No, I never finished it. Wow. And now as an adult, I am finishing them. Fun stuff. Let me go get the kits. I am slowly making my way through all of these art kits, but let me just show you the ones we have left. A Bedazzling Kit, Spirograph, friendship bracelets, stained glass things, felt coloring, paint by number, 2 Care Bear paintables that I really don't want to do. I don't know why I keep adding these to the pile. And a beginner stitching kit. Up first, we're going to be doing this. This is a felt coloring kit, and I really love these. These are nice and easy. You color them in, and they're fuzzy. So let's do this one. Okay, so here is our very tall felt coloring page, I guess you could call it. There's a lot of dolphins and sea creatures in here. To get the full childhood experience, we are going to be using Crayola markers. Not this one. That is disgusting. Because these markers are quite old, I did take a separate piece of paper and test out which markers were dried out and which were not dried out. Luckily, I had already kind of been through this process when I did my art room makeover series. Some of them were dried out, like this blue. On the whole, though, I do have to say, for markers that are between 15 and 20 years old, they do work pretty well. I did have to resort to the colorific purple marker, and we had a scented brown marker that smells like cinnamon. You smell that? I'll stop. I started off with Coral Reef, which is oddly fitting for the piece. I quickly realized that just using Coral Reef would be a bit boring, so I switched to every color of the rainbow. A little predictable, but I did have good reason for this. It is true that recently Crayola has come out with more shades for their markers. I know they released a pastel pack, and I also know they released a skin tone pack. However, with the exception of the light blue and Coral Reef colors, I pretty much just had the basic old school pack of Crayola markers. The color range is limited, and there's really only one shade per color in those packs. As a result, I felt like the whole piece would have way more depth if I made the background rainbow and then focused on the dolphins. So after finishing up coloring in the random little fishies, I moved on to the big fish, the dolphin. Actually, dolphins are not fish. They're actually mammals, right? Because they breathe air and then they go underwater. They can hold their breath for 2 minutes. Wild. And here is what the final thing turned out looking like. I am very happy with this. I'm actually shocked that it actually came out looking okay. I thought it was gonna look really bad since I used so much rainbow in the background, but I think it just looks fun and colorful. Let's move on. Up next, let's try this one, Bedazzling. Let's see if I can actually do this. All right, taking out my Bedazzling Kit. There's a bunch of stuff in this bag. I don't know the name for any of this stuff, but if you don't know what bedazzling is, basically you take these 2 tools and these metal things. I really struggled getting these metal things into the pushy thing, but when I finally did, I tested it out on a napkin. So you push down, and on the back, there's supposed to be a jewel right there in the clasp. Here is my new pack of jewels. I opened those up. Get out of the package, please. I selected a pink jewel for my trial run. This is so hard to get the metal thing in the pushy thing. It's hard to see because they're the same color, but the jewel is in the tray. It fell out because this is impossible. But I tried it now with the napkin. I pressed down, and the jewel is indeed inside the metal clasp. I will now attempt this on a skirt. The kit did come with a lot of stencils. I chose the star stencil for the back left pocket, dumping some jewels into my hand, and we are going to be sorting through this. I decided to go with pink, silver, and light pink, and I also added in a dark purple after the fact. And now for the bedazzling process, i.e. the most annoying thing ever. I quickly discovered that bedazzling is much harder than I thought. The first attempt was a fail. In hindsight, I have no idea how, but on my second attempt, I did get the pink to stick in. The problem is you have to make a whole star. And the second jewel in this star arrangement gave me so many issues. Only one clasp attached there. I tried again, put my jewel down, pressed, and it fell off yet again. Again, I attempted to stick this on. I tried again, and it just was not working for me. Instead of struggling, I decided to give up and move on to tacky glue. Yes, I realize that this is not bedazzling. I am in fact just gluing jewels at this point, but the effect is the same, and it's much quicker. After fabric gluing the star on the pocket, I had to get more of those colors together, and this was honestly the most annoying process, to pick out all these tiny jewels. And then I glued them to this back pocket using some more fabric paint. I will now present my thoughts on this kit. Upon a first glance, I did not have any bad feelings about this art kit. I didn't remember any bad experience with it. But after I started using it, all of the bad memories started rushing back. I remember being so frustrated as a kid using this art kit, and I asked my mom and she said, "Oh yeah, you hated this art kit. You tried over and over and you never were successful with it." The truth is that some of these art kits in this big pile of things I haven't finished were not finished for a good reason. Some of these art kits deserve to be left in the past, where childhood Marissa rejected them. That being said, I don't want to be so negative about bedazzling kits because I know there are kits out there that are easy to use and people love. I think I just have a really bad one. In this case, fabric glue was a really good replacement for the faulty bedazzler. Let's move on to the next art kit. Let's try Spirograph. I remember really liking this, and I don't think it's that complicated. I'm hoping I can make something cool. Okay, so here is my box of Spirograph, the classic way to create countless amazing designs. Ages 8+, so I should be able to do this. Opening the box, and we're taking out our supplies. They give us some paper, and all of these little circle things that match the background, so you can't really see them. There are also some markers. This is future Marissa speaking. They don't work very well. I was confused by the putty, but the instructions cleared that up. The instructions call this stuff Spiro putty. You stick it to the circle and then stick that to the paper, and then your circle doesn't move. Here are some options. I don't really like looking at that, so we're just gonna test something out to see if we can make anything at all. This is just a test run. Yep, okay. Looks bad. And now to try this in Wreck This Journal. There is a page that says, roll the journal down a hill. Rolling in that circle, similar enough. I don't know. I didn't want to waste the artwork and put it on a random piece of paper that I would lose, so I thought, let me put it in Wreck This Journal, since Wreck This Journal is technically meant to be destroyed, so that looks like poop. I think we're on the right track here. Let's try that again. You can probably tell where this is going. My mistake with Spirograph was that I did not read the directions. I'm not typically someone that likes to read directions, and I can usually kind of figure it out and be successful. But Spirograph, no. Spirograph is not the type of thing you can get by without reading the instructions, in my opinion. What I failed to realize, really, was that Spirograph has all these different circles that have numbers on them. Like, there's literally numbers all over them, and it's very mathematical. You really have to choose what hole you're putting these things in very carefully. Like, every single different hole on this wheel will literally result in a different pattern, and I just didn't realize it. So you really have to look at the manual and see, okay, what am I making here with this number? Oh, okay, this is wheel number 52. If I put them in this, and this hole, it'll make this pattern. I tried following the directions on this one, and I think I just did it wrong. General takeaway is the directions in Spirograph are very important. I will fix this mess in my next Wreck This Journal episode. Overall, I always have so much fun doing these art kits. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye!